Thanks for having me on. Why do you think women should want a traditional relationship overall?
I mean, you guys can do whatever you want. Here's my piece of it is, in my experience, I've dealt with a lot of women who regretted, foregoing a family and a happy relationship. Have you ever heard that or seen that meme? It's like, you wake up alone, you go to sleep alone, you can do whatever you want. Is that freedom or loneliness,
Sure, I could say the opposite, that women fed into like this illusion of what a traditional relationship would be and felt very unfulfilled and unseen in it.
Yeah, my goal is not to change women's mind. I want the best for you, comrade. I want the best for my daughters. I want the best for my sons. And to me, you just described what happens to a lot of women. And they're very legit and valid. They get hurt. Right? That's why this whole thing is popularized. Weak men create masculine women. The main reason it's popularized is because you have women out there who have legitimately been hurt, been mistreated, and their way of dealing with that, of protecting themselves from that in the future, is having that mentality, And it's like, I get it, but in the end, there's the reason is always I was hurt, and I just genuinely don't like my circumstances. I don't like them. And like, my thing is, as a coach, I don't expect you to like them. I don't expect you to like them. I wouldn't like them. But what I recommend against is, protecting yourself in that way. Just my 2 cents of it. Does that make sense?
Not really, because I would argue that the structure of like this quote unquote traditional relationship is designed to benefit men.
How so? When you call the police and men show up to protect you, does that not benefit you? When you go to the grocery store?
I don't think the police protect people. Neither does the Supreme Court.
I'm sorry, that's rude for me to laugh, but that was rude, but still.
Right. I mean, you laughing is still not an argument.
It's not, you're right.
That the police protect me, because they don't.
The police don't protect you, okay. No. Well, I think we're gonna have a hard time believing that, and the reason is because if something happened, you would call the police.
Right, so that's
if a fire broke out, you would call the fire department. When you go to the grocery store and you buy salmon, that didn't get caught by a chick. That got caught by dudes out there risking their lives. So you do benefit from it. You don't like it. You don't want to agree to it because it doesn't support your argument.
No, I think you're just making like generalized sweeping statements without any context. When the police
I just gave you context.
Right.
I just gave you context.
No, you didn't. When the police are called, they're not going to protect an individual. They're responding to crime.
And this is okay. Here's my problem with what you just said. People like you will be disingenuous to be right. You want to be right, and so you will be disingenuous because you can clearly look at society and tell that on the large, grand scale, police are out there protecting people every single day, but you're going to come in here and go, nope, police don't protect people.
Are you familiar with Castle Rock v. Gonzalez?
No. Not at all.
Castle Rock v. Gonzalez was a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that the police have no duty to protect you. If you would like specific examples where the police do not protect women, I'd be happy to give them. But I think
you're talking about duty. You're not talking about applicability, and there's a big difference.
Right. So in Castle Rock v. Gonzalez, the police refused to enforce a restraining order, which led to the death of 3 young girls.
So you're upset about that, and you should be, right? You're not bringing that up as a good example.
I'm not bringing that up as a good.
Conrad, don't be disingenuous. You're not bringing that up to show that the police not having a duty to protect people is a good thing. You're not.
I'm bringing that up to show that the police, as an institution, are not designed to protect people. If you want to have an intersectional conversation about this as well, you have different experiences when it comes to the police based on gender as well as race, as well as ability. So no, I would argue that the police are just designed
So
to protect
let me
private
get this
property
straight.
as well
So
as
you get this. Let me get this straight. You came in the live to argue that police are not here to protect you. Is that correct?
Well, you brought up police. I'm just engaging with your example.
But I did ask you a direct question that you should answer.
Wait, I did. I didn't. The police is not.
I asked you a yes or no question, and you didn't answer it.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Did you come in the live to debate on whether police are here to protect you or not?
No.
Then why did you come in the live?
Well, you brought up the police, and since you brought that,
I don't want you to blame me. I just asked you another direct question, which you're once again, you're failing to answer.
I'm telling you why. That's why we're discussing that topic. The reason that I came into the live is.
No, but that's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. I asked you, why'd you come in the live? That should be a very easy question to answer.
Because a lot of the principles that you're promoting are harmful for women and support patriarchal ideas.
Okay. And that's a negative to you.
Correct.
Okay. So let's start with whatever issue you want to jump into.
Sure.
I'm listening. What's the first? You said a patriarchal.
Ideals.
Okay, I'm listening. Go ahead. What's the first page?
Slowly, you paused, didn't hear him.
Yeah, hold on. Let me. I gotta put my charger on. Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, what was the question?
What's the first patriarchal issue you'd like to address?
I think the patriarchy as a whole rests on the foundation of male supremacy and superiority and domination, and female inferiority and submission.
Okay. I just asked you a direct question. It's hard to get a direct answer from you. I got to be honest. If this is how you communicate, it is difficult. What's that?
So, and I would say that is bad, where you would say that is good.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up a little bit. Can you repeat that?
So I defined what patriarchy was, and I said that that is bad.
Okay. So what am I saying, that's,
What is masculinity?
I just asked you a question.
Right. So a lot of your topics, when you talk about women being
I just asked you a question.
Right. And I'm going to get to
if you're are you a debater?
Yes.
I asked you a direct question.
I understand. So I said that that is bad and that you are promoting those ideals.
And my question to you is how? What did I say? What did Barry say? Where you just went, man, what he is saying is harmful. You use the word harm. There's people out there that are being harmed right now.
You said that women being masculine is wrong. You said that body count.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
You called women hoes. You said that women.
No, I didn't say that. Comrade, I did not say. I didn't come in here and say, women, if you are anything, you are wrong. I didn't say that at all.
What?
I didn't say that at all.
What do you think I said?
Your first statement was, Barry, you said, if you're a masculine woman, you are wrong. I didn't say that. Let me give you a quick rundown, okay? And I'm being serious.
Sure, you are.
If you're masculine, comrade, I don't care. I will not allow you into my life. Period. It's not going to happen.
Wait, and please don't misinterpret this as I want to be in your life, but why?
Because why would I want a masculine woman in my life?
Why wouldn't you?
Because I've dealt with them and it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all.
You're saying that women who are masculine are unpleasant. What is masculinity?
Okay, they're the type of woman that is rude, disrespectful, insulting. Okay? She asserts her... Go ahead.
That's not what I asked you.
Okay.
You want me to define what masculinity is because this is like one of your guys' favorite things. Define this, define this, define that. Let me explain something to you, comrade. I don't need to have the textbook definition to know. I don't want that in my life.
I'm not asking you for a textbook definition. I'm asking for your own conceptualization of what masculinity is.
It's what men are. It's
Right.
what men are.
What are those
It
attributes?
is, yeah. So you are, you have all the characteristics of what a man does. You are strong in the way that men are strong, not in the way that women are strong, because then we're going to get into, well, what's strength and women can't be strong. It's not what I'm saying, right? You have all the behavioral and character traits of masculinity, which is you have, that strength. You're the provider, you're the protector, you're the leader, things like that.
Now, why would you say that these attributes are given to men?
The masculinity?
Yeah, because I would just argue that like men have given themselves these attributes, and there are
Yeah,
men.
who's going to take it from us? Nobody.
Right. So, do you agree that masculinity is a social construction?
What does that mean?
That society determined what masculinity is, that it's not rooted in any kind of biology or natural status.
I see what you're doing.
Okay.
Is this what you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to let you use my platform to grandstand your agenda is the problem I'm having.
What is
I'm
that?
here to talk about relationships, and you want to talk about, patriarchy and masculinity and the social constructs and all this stuff. I'm not interested in that.
So I'll just go ahead and make my point. My point is that these characteristics that you have listed off are just agendered, that they actually don't belong to someone's specific gender, and because they're, you would have
You can't just arrive at a conclusion, comrade. You have to ignore everything that's in your phone, on your TV, and that actually exists in the world in order to come to that conclusion with no supporting statements. You show me the society of women that have went out and conquered anything.
Conquering isn't a measure of masculinity. You didn't even list that.
I might not have listed it, but that's the reality. You want rights and you want them from men. And if men decided not to give those rights to you, comrade, you would have no recourse. And there are many countries on this planet where that still applies. Many, and you know that.
I disagree.
You can disagree, but it doesn't make it false.
Right, and
There are many countries, Iran is one of those countries. If you're a woman and your hair is exposed, they can throw you in prison. Who are you going to cry to? Nobody. There's nobody there. And who are going to be the ones throwing you in prison? Men. Men will.
Is that good behavior that men are engaging in?
No, that's a bad example. And when
So don't say that women don't have any power in the society when men are using violence.
I didn't say women don't have any power.
You did. When men are using violence.
That's not what I said. I did not say women don't have any power. You need to listen. You got to listen, comrade. You got to listen. I didn't say women don't have any power. Women are very powerful. That's not what I said. Okay, I said women want rights and they want them from men. You coming on here, you want to run me down this weird path where police aren't there to protect you? What the hell is your point? You don't even have one. You're just against whatever you view the social construct is. Because you want to throw word salad after word salad out and just hope that it sticks to somebody out there. The society that we have, it runs really well. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But I'm going to tell you something. You benefit a lot from the patriarchy that you hate, that is designed to protect you. If you were a famous person, like all the famous people on the planet, you ain't going to get a bunch of armed women to be your bodyguards. You will have very large men to do it. That's the patriarchy part of it. And my point is to come on here and talk about relationships. And I never came on here and said, if you do this and you're a woman, you're wrong. That's not my role. You can be who you want, when you want, how you want, anytime you want. That's the beauty of being you and being free. But Barry is saying, I'm not going to date it. I'm not going to marry it. You can not like it. You can disagree with it. That's fine. I'm not here to convince you. There's no requirement for you to understand what Barry's saying, like what he's saying, agree with what he's saying. There isn't one. And I don't want that to be confused or mixed up in any way. All right. But to come on here and say, because it's like you're implying that this whole thing is just a social construct. And like, I guess if we put women in charge, it would be different or so. I don't even know. And then there's no point. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. And my recommendation to people like you and people that share your mentality is you better make the best of whatever situation you're in. Because if you think you're going to go out there and swim upstream and say, we should replace all these men with women, or we should just do away with this social construct, we're not doing away with the police. We're not doing away with first responders. We're not going to do away with all the men that have built the house you're sitting in, who have, paved the roads, worked the sewers, put the power back on in a storm. We're not doing away with that. It's not going to go anywhere. So whether you like it or not, I recommend that you get on board with it and make the best of your situation. But when it comes to relationships, I'm saying I'm not going to date a woman who, has the attributes that I mentioned. I'm not going to deal with it. I've dealt with it in the past, because my thing with this is I want men and women out there who I do genuinely believe the vast majority are good. I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy. And I'm telling you, I've seen women just like you. Some of them, they die alone and they think there's some moral victory. And to the day they die, they're putting their middle finger up to the men of society. And I don't know. I'm not them. I think it's a waste. I do. I don't think any of us want to be alone deep down. I think we don't like certain things. I think we don't want to be treated the way that maybe we've been treated in the past. I get it. I can relate to that, but to ignore the fact, to say that we just all want to be alone, and I know you're not saying that. Look at what we have to ignore. Men and women don't exist on any other planet, on any other galaxy or solar system. They only exist here on Earth. So we just want to feel we are all just slammed here together, over 7 billion people, and we're just supposed to just stay away from each other. We're supposed to fight each other at every turn, or we could play to each other's strengths, love each other, get along, right? Procreate, right? I mean, it's like we ignore so many obvious things. Why do we have sex? Why does sex feel so good? It's the highest act of physical love that there is. And that's how we procreate. It didn't have to be like that, but it was created that way. And I want men and women out there to be happy. And I don't see men and women being happy. I see men and women digging their heels into their corners. And it's over these weird principles that honestly, I'm not sure I fully understand. And I really don't think that they benefit people on a large scale, right? Like, are you in a happy, committed relationship, comrade, where your man is just like, man, I'm so glad you hate men and patriarchy?
What have I said that indicates I hate men?
Well, like I just said, like how you don't like the patriarchy, all this stuff is a social construct, that stuff.
How does that, so because I'm against the ideology that men are superior and should dominate women, that I hate men?
Well, that's not what I said.
That's
but
how
I
I
did ask you a
define
question.
patriarchy.
I did ask you a question.
So, I appreciate that this is your platform. I do want to engage in this conversation in a genuine, as a genuine person, but there's a lot of hypocrisy that you engage in, where you say that I make snap judgments, I do this, I do that, and then you do that exact same thing. So I'm asking you, what have I said that indicates that I hate men?
I answered your question.
How does that indicate that I hate men? Because I'm not for male domination? Why does that say I hate men?
That's how I'm answering your question. That's how I interpreted it.
Why?
Well, because I didn't take it as a positive.
Why
I took it as a negative.
You took what as a negative? That I don't think women should be dominated by men?
Well, you didn't say that in your initial statement. You've said it 3 times in the last 30 seconds.
I did.
I don't want women to be dominated by men.
So you're against the patriarchy?
No, I'm not against patriarchy. I don't want women to be dominated by men.
Then what is your understanding of what patriarchy is?
Okay, let me pull that here. Patriarchy is the society that we have created where men play their role, women play theirs. Okay? That's why I use the examples that I do. Men have built and maintained all of infrastructure. all of it, every single aspect of it, right? And men are there to protect. That's why men are there. That is why well over 92% of the United States Marine Corps are men. We don't even need women because every job that a woman does in the Marine Corps can be done by a man, right? There is no quota to go out there and like recruit women. And so that's the patriarchy to me. That's why, we need it. 100%.
What are men protecting women from?
Violence, physical violence.
From who?
Other men and women.
Other men. Gotcha. So men are the problem and the solution.
In that way, yes, they are.
So
because you got good ones and you got bad ones, right?
no, I think ultimately the patriarchy conditions men to commit violence towards women.
Well, men commit violence towards other men on a much larger scale.
But the specific way that women experience violence from men is because we are women. It's gender-based violence.
Okay.
And for you to say that, women are safe in this world, it's just ignorant because women are not.
No, it's not ignorant. It's ignorant for you to argue that when you're sitting in whatever room you're sitting in and you're very safe. You're very safe. You're extremely
No.
safe. That's the ignorance. Hold on. Could you hear me? Because I could still hear you.
No, I wasn't saying anything. I couldn't hear you.
Okay. That's it. That's the ignorance. Is that this is where the dishonesty comes in hardcore. You will sit in your environment and the overwhelming majority of your life, you have not faced any danger. And I don't even need to be there to know that. You're right now very comfortable, very safe, very secure. You're on your cell phone. You're in this live, just like me. There isn't men sprinting down the street to come find you and attack you, right?
Do you think it's...
And you will come on here and make that statement and then call me ignorant. And at the end of the day, that's fine because comrade, I'm not here to change your mind. Let me say this. Let me explain this one to you.
I understand that you're not, but my whole point is if that what you're saying is correct and what you're promoting is just, then it should stand up to some questioning. Would you say a woman is safe walking home alone at night?
1,000%.
Okay, now you're
1,000.
being disingenuous. Come on.
No, it's not. You're mistaking how you feel with reality, which I understand. You, comrade, may have been in situations where maybe there was violence. Maybe there has been some stuff, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe you just knew some people. Doesn't matter. You may not feel safe. However,
That is psychological violence.
wow.
They recently did a study where they tested...
You're in deep on this stuff. I got to hand it to you. Psychological violence. Where'd you get that from?
What do you mean? Where did I get that from?
I've never heard of psychological violence in my life.
Okay. Well, I don't think that you really, it's interesting that when you're asked to, explain concepts and define words that you don't have much. Because I just think you've kind of bought into this is-ought fallacy, that because this is how it is, therefore it's how it ought to be. And I think you really ignore...
I don't feel that way.
Absolutely.
I don't feel that way. I'm a regular guy. I'm a blue-collar guy. And no, I don't have every definition. And no, I don't know everything. And I don't claim to know that. Okay? I'm not even going to make that claim. All right?
Right, but when we're talking about relationships, again, you've made the statement that I don't want a masculine woman. And then when I asked you to conceptualize what masculinity is, you kind of just give really negative qualities, like rude, overbearing. Is masculinity a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't want a masculine woman.
So again, you just repeated your premise. You didn't really give any kind of insight to the concept that you're talking about.
You want to know why? Because what I feel you're doing is you want to use my words for some gotcha moment. Okay? Let's say I'm using the wrong word and masculine isn't the right word. Barry doesn't care. I don't care. You can care about that. I respect that.
Well, then
I
you
know
acknowledge your
exactly.
pros and cons.
I know exactly what type of woman I don't want. Now, when I make that description, if you hear that, comrade, and you would prefer to assign another word to that because you're not satisfied with Barry's definition, that's fine. I do not care. I don't
Is
care.
misogyny bad, Barry?
Yes, misogyny is bad.
Would you not want to promote misogyny on your page?
Oh man. No, I would not want to promote misogyny.
Then you would care. You would care if the words and the way that you are framing things is promoting misogyny. Which
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said,
it is.
no, I didn't. I said I might be wrong. I might not have the definition. And if you want to assign another word to the description I'm giving, I'm okay with that. I am just a regular guy who knows what he doesn't want. What I don't like is the rectal Olympics that we got to play with people like you on one word, because that's one of your trigger words. I'm not here for that. Okay? I don't want you to get lost in the forest through the trees, comrade. I might not have used the right word to you, and I'm extending an olive branch to you.
Not an olive branch.
Okay, you want to keep correcting me. I'm trying to be courteous and professional and say,
No, you're not.
if in your mind I used a word that you don't agree with, replace it with one you do agree with. All I'm saying is I can easily recognize you're the exact type of woman I would never date or talk to.
That's
Never.
fine. Why?
I would never in
Why?
1
Wait,
million
wait.
years.
Why?
Because listen to you.
What? Listen to me. What
Listen
does that
to you.
Yeah. What does that mean?
It's like you just came here to be antagonistic, argue. The
How
way
have
you
I been
speak, it's the way you
antagonistic?
speak, it's the tone, it's
What's
it's
my
like,
tone?
you see, you want me to define everything.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not going to.
because
I'm just going to tell. I already gave you my conclusion.
Right.
I already said I would never do it, and I don't like it, and I don't need to justify it.
Well,
And-
I think you do, because the reason that I think that you don't want to date a woman like me is because I'm not submitting to you, because I'm not just blindly following you, because I'm actually challenging you. And you realize
That's what men don't want, comrade.
Right.
Men don't want
women,
that.
exactly. Men want
Men
women
don't
to
want that.
blindly
Men
follow
don't want
them,
that because you
even
don't
when they're
know.
wrong.
Because you don't know what love is. You know what fighting is. You know what hate is. You don't know what love is. And
How-
here's the
how
difference
do you
between
know I
you and
don't
me.
know what love
Here's
is?
the big difference
What?
between you and me. Here's the big difference. Pay attention. If you were my woman, I would come to you and say, I am yours, comrade. Everything that I am belongs to you. I am a possession of yours. I'm accountable to you. You own me. I will answer to you. I will protect and provide for you. You can't do it and you're not happy and you just keep going through life wondering why you ain't happy and then blaming men for it. And the reality is because you don't know what love is. You don't know what it is. Whatever you want to call me, I'm going to say I'm man enough to do that because I'm a man and I'm man enough to do that. I'm man enough to take a step back, serve my lady, come home. Yeah, I am going to serve you. I'm going to wash your feet, comrade. Sit down. You had a long day. Tell me about your day. Let me put on some relaxing music. You can't do that because you're too mad at men for whatever the patriarchy and all the other stuff is. And I apologize for being so loud, but I am passionate about it. Go ahead.
So again, you're saying like, oh, I'm trying to be professional and cordial, and you're making these overarching statements about me. I don't know what love is. I hate men, simply because I'm saying that we need not be bound by these gender constructions or roles that society has given to us.
Then carry in your own groceries.
1 second.
You know,
Thank you.
go fix the fence. Go change the
I have.
oil.
Thank
Hey,
you.
comrade, my oil needs to be changed. Go fix it. Hey, this is why we have the ridiculous soft guy era videos, comrade.
If
It's
you wanna-
because of
if you
people
wanna-
like you.
Well,
Hey,
one
go
second.
make sure you Venmo my barber $75 every Wednesday because it's a social construct, right?
So,
Hey,
one second.
comrade, I
What?
don't want to date you because
That's fine.
you didn't pull out my chair.
So again, like
Hold on.
now you're just kind of flailing.
You didn't open my door, comrade. I don't want to date you.
If you were really
Comrade, pay the
about
bill.
being-
It's a
about saying
comrade. It's a
misogynistic
social
things
construct.
on your platform,
It's a
you would want
social
to
construct,
disclose it.
comrade. Pay the
It
bill.
is, Barry. I'm glad you learned a new word today.
Pay the bill. Pay the bill. Pay the bill, comrade.
Why are you muting me?
Pay the bill. Pay the bill.
I do pay my bills. What are you talking
It's a
about?
social construct. That's why we have soft guy era. You guys need to look no further than comrade. Carry your own groceries in. Lift all the heavy stuff.
Oh, okay.
You go out there.
Me too.
I want you
What
to
are
go out and
talking
work
about?
60 to 70 hours a week. Barry's going to sit at home, wake up at the crack of 9 a.m., switch out DVDs for the kids. I'll pack you a peanut butter and jelly on your way out the door, comrade. How's that?
Barry, why are you so triggered?
Because it's a joke that you have this mentality, and this is what it's doing to our society, and it bothers me. It bothers me because
What bothers you? That I don't think.
you bother me.
How
Your
is that
mentality
ever
bothers
said
me.
that bothers you. So here's like the normative claims that I've given is that women should not be dominated or ruled by men, which you seem to agree with. And you acknowledge that the environment, the patriarchy that men have created is where women need to be dependent on men, even for simple aspects such as safety. That independent of men, our own existence as women is a danger to us. And I genuinely do think you are ignoring the experience of women because you don't know what it's like for women to experience the patriarchy.
I don't
You come from
care.
right.
I'm never gonna know, comrade.
And don't tell
Comrade.
me that you're up
Comrade,
here wanting
comrade.
women to be happy.
I'm never gonna know what it's like.
don't
I'm never gonna
care
know what
about
it's
women's
like. But you know the difference between me and you is I'm never gonna know what it's like. My job isn't to know what it's like. My job is to care about what it's like, which I do.
You don't. You just said you
You
don't.
don't get to tell me that. You don't get to tell me
You
that.
said I don't care.
You didn't listen to what I said.
You did. You said, I don't care. That's literally what you said. Come on. Because if you did care, if I asked you, is misogyny bad? You said yes. And I said, would you not want to promote misogyny on your platform? You said yes. And you haven't asked me once what you said was misogynistic. So you don't care. You want to promote this traditional aspect of relationships because it's what benefits you. And it's what's easy for you. And because you're uneducated.
So to wrap it up, you feel that you can not just insult me, but tell me what I want and how I feel.
So I'm arriving at these conclusions.
You can't answer the question. You can't answer the question. You can't answer it. You can't. I asked you a yes or no.
That's
a yes or no.
yes or no.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm basing my conclusions based on statements that you have said. And don't act all high and mighty. Like, oh, you're just up here to insult me. Sir, you've told me I hate men. You told me I don't know what love is. Like, come on. Be for real.
You can advocate for whatever you want, and it doesn't make you wrong. You can advocate for something that you may have gotten wrong in the past. Two things can be wrong at the same time. Two things can be right at the same time, and they usually are.
That's word salad, Barry. Come on.
That's what it is. But I asked you a direct question. You can't answer it.
I do answer it. I just don't think you really understand and grasp because you haven't done a lot of research on this. You want women.
I don't need to do research.
Yes, you
I
do.
just
You
know
need
what
to
I'm not.
learn.
I don't
What do
need to
you
do
mean?
research, comrade. I just know what I'm not going to let in my life. That's what I told you.
Right,
I was
Barry,
very clear
and you
about
don't
that.
recognize that you are the problem.
You are trying
Your
to
mindset
change
is the
Barry's
problem.
mind. You're trying to change Barry's mind,
No,
and
I
you're
know.
not going
I
to
know you're
change
not
my
gonna
mind.
change your mind. I know you're not going to
I
change.
don't want to date
you're
the
obviously
type
not
of
open
woman
to information.
that is like you. I don't want to date women like you. I don't want to date women that think like you,
smart,
talk like you,
educated,
act like you. No, it has
confident.
nothing to do with. There's women out there that are so smart
Yeah, you know
that
what?
they know how to love. They're so intelligent that they understand how to be kind and respectful. That's what I'm talking about. You came on here to grandstand my platform
What is
about stuff that you
grandstand?
regularly debate, and you can't even let me finish.
Oh, please, Barry. I let you go on like a 5-minute monologue. Give me a break.
It's my page. I can go on a 5-hour monologue.
And don't tell me I don't. let
If
you
you're going to
finish
be
one of the
insulting,
minutes
that's
you go on
because you're an
monologue.
insulting person. I said you don't know what love is. You turn that into Barry's insulting me. You
Yeah.
called me uneducated. I didn't say nothing about your
That's a fact.
education.
That's a fact, Barry. And you
That's not a fact. You don't know what I know.
You admitted
You don't
it.
know what I know.
You admitted
That's
it.
the problem. That's the problem, comrade. You're a scorned woman who will never be happy with a man until you start really diving into this stuff. Okay? Because I
Let's engage in
guarantee
that. Let's
you ain't
engage
trying
in
to fix
that.
a fence in your front yard.
Yeah, no. Why do you think that I don't have skills?
I don't give a damn what skills you have. It ain't about what skills you have.
You just said go change your oil, go fix your fence. Okay, I do those things. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
because men don't want you out there. The way that you think, the way that you speak, it's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen.
Why? Why? Based on what? Based on what? Because I
Based on
don't.
everything I just said. Based on how you
what?
speak.
What? How do I speak, Barry? Please tell me. Confident, secure, intelligent. Like, come
No,
on.
my interpretation is you're a man hater. That's
Right,
what
but
you
you
are.
can't
You
give
don't
me
like
reason.
men. You don't
can't
like
give me
men.
anything that indicates
You,
that.
you got,
It's just in
you
your
are part of the
thinking, please.
competition.
You're just in
You're
your
part of the
thinking.
competition to see who the men can be in our society. And it's weird. It's weird to me. The women out there who are not dishonest will at least they'll admit, I'm smart, I'm talented, I can do all the things that you mentioned, Barry, but you know what? I don't wanna. I just talked to a woman the other day, comrade. She didn't have the best definition, but you know what she said to me? There's something inside of me that just wants to like hold a puppy or hold a baby, you know? And it's
Okay.
like, where did she get that from? She can't even, she can hardly describe it, but she knows, she feels
You
it.
don't want to hold puppies?
Oh man, this is funny, man. I love this,
Are you
man.
gonna answer?
No, I don't.
You don't want to hold babies?
Not like a woman, no.
What do you mean not like a woman? How does a woman hold a baby different?
So, I have 4 children.
You didn't
And say again?
you didn't hold your kids?
Well, let me finish.
Oh sure.
So the way I view things is like, I don't know what it is inside of me. And I may have to get up off here abruptly. My daughter is about to get dropped off. I don't know what it is inside of me where I don't have a problem like going to work, being away from the kids, and then coming home. It just feels natural to me. And whereas the women that I've experienced in my life, they take it hard, man. Like I have seen women break down because they're out there exactly nurturing. They're out there in the workforce and they're like, damn, someone else is raising my kids kind of thing. Like,
So you're detached
like,
from your children.
huh?
You're detached from your children.
I'm not detached. I just love them like a dad loves them.
You're okay being away from them. That sounds like detachment from me. To me.
Well, but I'm okay. It feels natural for me to go out, make money, provide, and do all that stuff.
Right. Wouldn't you say that when you want to spend time with someone or that you miss someone that you love them?
Yeah.
So that sounds like you're detached, that you're not loving your kids in the same way the mother is.
No, I said that. I don't love them in the same way the mother does.
Right. She loves them more.
No.
That's what it sounds like because she aches when
She loves them differently.
She loves them more because she aches and you don't. How is that not a measure of more?
It's simple. It takes sacrifice for me. If I could be home with my kids, I would be home with them. But as a man, it feels natural for me to go out into society and do that. Okay? That doesn't mean, and that's an act of submission. That's an act of service, right? And I'm doing that out of love for my family. There's many acts of love.
Sure,
There's many acts of love. And my point is that it's different.
I could argue women do the same thing, that they are.
I don't care what you could argue. I don't care what you could argue. Argue what you're going to argue.
Great. And women do it the same thing. They work to support their children. They work to give.
You want to make it a tit. You want to make it a tit for tat.
That's not what
I just said they love differently. They love differently.
With degree.
So you got. I need you to. This is what I need. This is what I need. I need you to pay closer attention, comrade, because you went from more. You went from saying that women love their children more
They do.
than men do, and when I provided supporting statements to support my conclusion that it's different love, you went right back to the antagonistic mentality of, well, I could argue this and I could argue that. All I'm saying is they love each other differently. And my question to you is, what the hell are you driving towards?
Right. The difference is more. And when I say I could argue, that's just a work up to my next statement, because I'm essentially tagging that I'm giving you a counter. You're saying one thing and I'm going to say something that counters or challenges it. So that's why I tag it so that it's highlighted. And again, I think you've proven my point, because what if men do feel this aching for their children? What if women don't feel this aching for their children? I'm saying it's not like inherently biological. To be nurturing, to be compassionate, to love your family or your community is not something that people are, well, I should say the nurturing aspect, are people are born with. They are conditioned how to take care of people.
I don't understand why you're drawing that conclusion. Can you help me understand that?
Drawing what conclusion? Because men have the same capacity to love and care for their children as women do. And I think ultimately promoting this form of like masculinity that men are detached from important relationships hurts men, which is why a lot of them feel isolated. And I think also
that has nothing to do with why men feel isolated.
It very much is. If we look at
no, it's not. I'll tell you exactly why men feel isolated.
Well,
it's the same thing that you don't like, right? You want to cry for the women who do the same work as men and don't get paid the same. And my answer to that is a really unprofessional one, but it's still my answer. The reason is because in the unlikely event of a Titanic scenario, for some unknown reason, you and the kids get on the life raft and Barry goes down with the ship. That's the reality of society, okay? And, you know, we can sit here and like debate that, but at the end of the day, when I was a kid and I skinned my knee, I didn't run to my dad. I ran to my mom. Why? I don't know. I mean, we could just be really dishonest and ignore the fact that I passed through my mother's, birth canal and that her boobs just magically produced milk. And I had a special bond with her when I breastfed, and I had a different connection with her than my dad. We can ignore all the stuff you want to ignore, comrade, because we're conditioned, right? It's just a conditioning. Yeah. It's one hell of a convenient conditioning.
Yeah, women are
It's one hell of a convenient conditioning that men are physically dominant. It's very convenient that men and women were placed on the planet together and we are each other's yin to the yang. Super convenient. It's convenient that I come through the birth canal of a woman. It's convenient that her breasts produce milk. This is all very convenient.
It's not social conditioning, my guy. I don't know what rant you're going on.
Because I'm taking it, I know it's not. I'm taking it to those things to illustrate the fact that it's not just something that is conditioned, and there is an origin and a basis for all of these things. That's all I'm saying.
No, like why do you think girls are given dolls?
Why do I think what now?
Girls are given dolls.
I don't know. I ain't never given my girls any dolls.
Do you think that's a general that's a general statement we see within society that dolls are gendered for little girls?
Repeat that, please.
Is that a societal standard that dolls are a gender toy and are designed for girls?
Yes.
Right. It's because that's the early part of the conditioning.
You're going to a toy store to support your argument? Come on.
How does that not implicitly show it? Because my nephew loved baby dolls when he was a kid, when he was little. He absolutely adored them. Super sweet, super kind, very sensitive. He loved babies. He loved baby dolls. And guess when he stopped? When he went to school and kids made fun of him for it. Because that's a girl's toy. Because it's wrong for a little boy to like a girl's toy. Because he's not supposed to be nurturing. So yes, that is a form of social conditioning. That even kids at
but you're taking an isolated exception to the rule.
That's not an exception to the rule. That's what misogyny is. Misogyny is hatred.
That's not what misogyny is. Misogyny is the belief that men are superior.
That's not, no. I'm giving misogyny is the hatred that women and girls receive for stepping outside the patriarchal construction of gender.
That definition is nowhere, and you know that.
Yeah, that's from Kate Mann, who's a philosopher.
There you go. It's from Kate Mann. She doesn't get to redefine words.
When we talk about philosophy, yes.
That's not what misogyny is.
So, are you familiar
with philosophy? And
fallacies?
philosophy is a lot different, and you know that.
Right. Barry, are you familiar with logical fallacies?
Oh my gosh. You do this all day.
No.
And the beauty of it is...
Oh, don't deflect. Come on. Engage.
No, I don't.
So, logical fallacies are a fault in logic. And when you say this is the definition, where are you getting your definition from?
Which one?
Misogyny.
The dictionary.
Right. So you're just appealing to an authority. That's a logical fallacy because the dictionary.
And you're dismissing it. You're dismissing the authority that everybody uses because you don't like it.
So
that's weird. That's
It's
weird
not,
to me.
It's not weird.
It
This is
doesn't.
how-
Comrade
this is how
doesn't like it.
academia works. This is not my own position. Within conversations like this, yes, you always have conceptualizations, and you're to make statements on why your definition would be a better one. And I can certainly make those statements on why the
I
definition.
love it. I love it.
provided
It's
would
so
be better.
subjective, right? It's so subjective. If Comrade feels it's better, then it's better.
It's not about feelings, Barry. It's about logic and reason. So yes, if I can provide logical and reasonable arguments why this definition would be a better working definition, and you can't, then why should we use your definition?
Well, I did provide a definition, though.
And that's
You
not what
didn't
you're
like
saying.
it. You didn't like it, and that's okay. But you don't get to replace it
it's
because
not
you don't like
functional.
it.
No, it's that it's not functional, and that's not what the dictionary says, by the way.
Your opinion is it's not functional. That's your opinion.
No,
You're trying to insert
Reason and
your own
logic.
definition
Then tell me how
because
it's-
you don't
tell me how
like
it's
the one
functional.
that we currently have, and that's what you're doing.
Tell me how it's functional, then.
It's very functional. That's
You just
what we
can't say
currently
it's
have. And
functional.
misogyny is hatred of, contempt. How can I pin this? It's not letting me.
Oh, so now you're changing your definition.
I'm reading someone's definition.
Well,
Misogyny is hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against women or girls.
Right. So you admit the definition you gave me wasn't what was in the dictionary. Thank you. So I would say that that's not a functional definition. Do you said you do have a daughter, Barry?
I have two.
Do you like your daughters?
Yeah, but can you just like tread lightly with the kids, please?
Of course. So I think a lot of people who have attitudes or perspectives that would classify as misogyny can essentially dismiss those by pointing to their female family members and saying, well, I love them, therefore I don't hate women. So that's why it's not functional.
I can see that.
Right. So I would say mine would be more functional as well because it centers the experience of women and girls. And it also puts a societal standard on how they ought to behave.
You want to be in love or do you want to be right?
I do want to be in love, but with that,
That's a valid question for you, comrade, because you can be
And I'm
right all
answering-
day.
I'm answering it. I don't know why you're interrupting me. So yes, I do want to be in love, but the relationship style that you're promoting would marginalize, minimize, and restrict me. It would take away my autonomy and identity and would confine me to a box that society has determined, not me. And I think many women within these relationships, when they are married and have children, have the experience of single mothers.
And can I tell you something?
Sure.
I think you're 100% right.
Great. Then I don't know why you're promoting traditional relationships.
Because that's what I want. And there's a lot of people who disagree with you, just like there's a lot of people who agree.
Right. So then that's when we use reason and logic to understand why something ought to be.
See, Cynthia, I want a traditional relationship.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with what Cynthia wants, and there's nothing wrong with what I
If
want.
you want to bring Cynthia, well, I disagree because like what is submission, Barry?
Okay, so here's a difference that I'm just right away between you and I. This feels like you want to convince Barry of something. My perspective, I don't want to convince you, comrade, of anything.
Fine.
I want you to accept that Barry is a traditional guy. There's a lot of traditional men out there that want the traditional relationship with the traditional woman, and that's just okay. You don't have to like it, agree with it, or understand it, but you should. You should accept it. And based on what you just said, I gotta go. My daughter's here. We're gonna do that. We're gonna carry